The sun hung low over the vast plains of Montana, casting golden streaks across the rugged land. The small town of Redwood Ridge was quiet, save for the occasional creak of a swinging saloon door or the distant neigh of a restless horse. Here, life was slow, but beneath the surface, stories of passion, betrayal, and redemption brewed like a storm on the horizon. One such story belonged to Eleanor Grayson, a woman with fire in her heart and shadows in her past. With cascading auburn hair and piercing green eyes, she had once been the beloved daughter of a respected rancher until her family was torn apart. 10 years ago, an outlaw named Samuel Calloway had gunned down her father in cold blood, stealing not only his life but her innocence, her security, and the warmth of a home. Eleanor had vowed revenge. She had learned to shoot with precision, ride like the wind, and survive in a world that had shown her no mercy. But revenge was a patient beast, and she had waited for the right moment. Now, the time had come. One evening, as the sun dipped beneath the horizon, a stranger rode into Redwood Ridge. He was tall, broad-shouldered, and carried an air of quiet authority. His piercing blue eyes were like ice, and his face was marked by time and hardship. James Calloway. The son of the man who had ruined her life. Eleanor's heart pounded when she heard his name. Rumors whispered that James was nothing like his father, that he had spent his years trying to right the wrong Samuel Calloway had done. But to Eleanor, the blood in his veins carried the same stain. Still, she watched him. She studied him. And to her dismay, she found something unexpected, a man who moved with a kind of quiet dignity, who helped the town's widows carry their groceries, who tipped his hat to the old and treated the weak with kindness. It would have been easier if he had been cruel. Eleanor knew what she had to do. She would get close to him, learn his weaknesses, make him trust her, then take everything from him as his father had taken from her. She approached him one evening at the saloon, offering a coy smile and a carefully veiled bitterness. She told him he was new in town. James regarded her with a slow, steady gaze and admitted that he was. She asked if he was looking for something. He hesitated before replying that maybe he was just trying to make peace with the past. Eleanor's heart clenched, but she forced herself to laugh lightly and tell him that the past did not forget so easily. Over the weeks that followed, their paths crossed more often. He would watch her with an intensity that made her pulse quicken, and to her frustration, she found herself drawn to him. His kindness was effortless, offering his coat when the night grew cold, fixing a broken fence on her family's abandoned land without being asked. This was not a man who deserved her vengeance. But revenge was not so easily abandoned. One evening, under a sky full of stars, Eleanor confronted James. She asked if he knew who she was, her voice trembling. James nodded and said her name. He told her that he knew what his father had done to her family. She stiffened and asked how he could still act like he belonged there. His expression darkened, pain flickering in his eyes as he said he had come to make amends. He explained that he had left his father's name behind long ago, but he could never erase what had been done. He only wanted to do something good. Her heart waged war against her fury. She had spent years hardening herself, sharpening her pain into a weapon. But James was not the villain she had prepared to hate. Instead, he was a man who bore his own scars. When his fingers brushed hers, it was not just a touch, it was an unspoken understanding, a quiet surrender. Eleanor had never known a love that stripped her soul bare, that forced her to see herself not as a victim or an avenger, but as a woman capable of something beyond hate. And James had never known a love that saw past his bloodline, that touched the deepest part of him without fear. Their first kiss was slow, hesitant. A question rather than an answer. But when she let herself lean into him, when his arms wrapped around her as if holding on to something precious, Eleanor knew that revenge had no place there. She had found something far more powerful. Forgiveness. And in the heart of forgiveness, love had finally found a home.